Well, we have something major going on in the environment, and of course, the news media is not really talking too much about it in New York. But we have a lot of dead birds being found, and this is an article saying hundreds of dead geese found on beach in Jamesport across Long Island. Residents search for answers. Haven't been able to find it. News 12 barely covered this. News 12 Long Island as it barely covered it. They're too busy talking about other things that affect more of a certain demographic. But anyway. It says that he said reports of more than 100 deceased or sick geese and ducks have been coming from the Jamesport area, as well as across Long Island. And they were even seen out on the ice in Peconic Bay. There's a picture of it. So it's a pretty big thing here. All right. In a site that's broken hearts around the East End and beyond, residents have reported seeing hundreds of dead geese littering the shorelines and even floating on the ice in Peconic Bay. Maria Orlando Pietramonco of South Jamesport wrote on Facebook, yet another neighborhood reported counting 106 dead geese on the beach today. Pietro Monaco said she'd heard hundreds of Canada geese honking overnight during the night, some waddling through the streets, others perched all alone in various places. At least 15 dead, others look very sick. Pietro and others speculated on whether the geese were dying of starvation with all the food and water sources encased in ice, or from avian influenza. Amanda DeVoe said she had been walking on the South Jamesport beach at Miamaquag Point and seen 2 deceased and 3 ill-looking Canadian geese. It's all sad to see. DeVoe said she believed the large die-out of geese must be related to the avian flu. Just too many sick one day and dead the next. We actually saw one flying and then just flew into the beach and was dead within minutes. The ones still alive on the beach seem disoriented and stumble. Some don't even move when we walk by. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation said it has had reports of more than 100 geese or ducks in the Jamesport area along the Peconic Bay, in addition to numerous reports of dead and sick waterfowl throughout Nassau and Suffolk counties. The birds were recently collected on February 16th in the Jamesport area to undergo testing for the highly pathogenic avian influenza. The DEC said it currently does not have any confirmed HPAI detections on the North Fork or of Long Island during the 2025 to 2026 HPAI season. However, that does not mean that these are not HPAI mortalities in wild birds in the area. The DEC targets larger die-offs, 20-plus geese, or interesting species. The public should strongly consider that groups of birds found deceased are HPAI positive and should follow CDC protocols to reduce contact. The DEC advised the public to avoid any contact with sick or dead birds and mammals that may be infected with HPAI. HPAI continues to infect birds and mammals across the U.S. and Canada, including New York State. HPAI is carried by free-flying waterfowl and other water birds such as ducks, geese, and shorebirds, but can also infect domestic poultry, raptors, corvids, and mammals. The DEC Wildlife Health Program is monitoring the spread and impact of HPAI throughout the state and has an online reporting tool the public can use to report suspected HPAI mortalities. An update on HPAI can also be found on the Cornell Wildlife Health website. There is no way to contain HPAI infection in wild birds, the DEC said, adding that the clinical signs for HPAI infection in wildlife are nonspecific and may be similar to other diseases or injuries. Waterfowl, water birds, raptors, and scavenging birds are at higher risk of infection, but any species could potentially be infected, including mammals. HPAI-infected birds may be asymptomatic or may exhibit signs of respiratory distress, sneezing or nasal discharge, lethargy, neurologic malfunction, diarrhea, weakness, or sudden death, the DEC said. Once a report is received, the DEC's field response is guided by the report's details, including the number of sick or dead birds, bird species, and observations from new areas where HPAI has not yet been documented. Of particular interest are reports of suspected outbreaks in all species of waterfowl, raptors, crows, shorebirds, and other water birds, such as gulls, loons, and herons. HPAI is widespread in wild birds and mammals, so not all reports will result in the DEC retrieving the animals for testing and/or disposal. The public can help minimize risk and limit disease spread by preventing contact between domestic animals and wild birds. In cases where DEC field staff are not responding to collect samples or carcasses from the landscape, the public should limit contact with dead wildlife and keep domestic animals away. If removal of carcasses is deemed necessary, the public is reminded to wear disposable gloves, a mask, and eye protection, and to avoid direct contact with the carcass or carcass fluids by using a shovel and or washing hands and clothing immediately after with soap and hot water. Carcasses should be triple bagged, garbage or contractor beds, and placed in an outdoor trash receptacle, according to the DEC. So this is a big deal, but there's not a whole lot of stuff to put dead birds in Long Island and see what comes up. But this really hasn't been covered that much. News 12 barely covered this. Let's see. I think they barely. Oh, actually, they did cover it. All right, they did cover it. So we will play this.
Dead birds spotted in both Nassau and Suffolk counties. Most recently, at least a dozen were found at Milburn Pond in Baldwin.
Of course, they're on the South Shore.
News 12's Jonathan Gordon reports with a warning about environmental officials.
Well, as you can see behind me, there are so many birds that call Milburn Pond home, which is why it was so shocking when viewer photos showed at least a dozen of them dead here along the waterline. These pictures from a viewer show the birds in and around Milburn Pond this week, but viewers said they saw between 30 to 40 dead birds here recently. Today, we spotted just one.
It's generally close to my house, so I'd be curious to find out.
I've been seeing them too.
What was happening.
Baldwin is just the latest incident, but it is not an isolated one. According to viewers and social media, similar sites have popped up along the water in Lido Beach, Long Beach, Jamesport, Riverhead, and Fire Island. The New York State DEC says the public should strongly consider that groups of dead birds like these are positive for bird flu.
I was in shock because I never heard about the birds got a flu, so I was like, oh wow. I was like, I know the humans got the flu.
Kate Purrs from the Cornell Cooperative Extension Suffolk County Farm said it's up to the DEC to confirm whether all these cases are actually bird flu, but added the spread of the virus is more common this time of the year.
We do see an increase in cases because birds are migrating at late fall, early winter, and so we're right in the time frame where you would expect to see an increase in cases.
The DEC recommends that you avoid all contact with any groups of dead birds, wear protective gear if removing them, and wash your hands.
Another theory also is going on that some of the birds, the ice was disrupting some of their feeding habits.
Reduce the chance of the virus from spreading. The DEC said it continues to monitor the spread and impact of bird flu throughout the state. In Baldwin, Nassau County, Jonathan Gordon.
So they did actually cover it. Interesting, because I don't see it on the website, but at least they did actually cover it. None of the city stations covered it too much, though. And if I go to the website, I can't really find it anywhere. Oh, there it is. All right, so it did get added to the website. Okay. So they did cover it. I guess they did add it. So, all right. So there you go. So they did cover it. This is a big deal. This thing. And News 12. This is also going on in New Jersey as well, unfortunately. Let's see. Got here. So New Jersey DEP.
Bird flu is sweeping through New Jersey. That's according to the Department of Environmental Protection. They're now tracking reports of more than 1,000 dead birds and counting. Jim Murdoch spoke with the DEP about why this winter could be particularly deadly to waterfowl.
Our highest suspicion at this time is highly pathogenic avian influenza.
New Jersey State wildlife pathologist Dr. Patrick Connolly received dozens of reports of dead geese over the last week.
This is a significant number of birds, waterfowl dying on the landscape in single locations, beyond what we have seen in previous years.
This avian flu outbreak is believed to be a continuation of what the CDC began tracking in 2022, but this winter has been especially cold.
Because of these cold temperatures, a lot of water bodies are going to be frozen, and so it seems that we have large numbers of waterfowl congregating at limited numbers of open water bodies.
Dr. Connolly says the virus spreads between birds through close contact, saliva, and respiratory secretions. Infectious disease specialists say while the transmission risk to humans is low, keep your distance. The DEP says it'll be up to individual towns to remove dead bird carcasses. Here in Spring Lake, crews picked up 8 on Tuesday. And those dead ducks and seagulls we saw on Belmar Beach, also gone. Other towns and counties are sounding the warnings and alerts on social media. Dr. Connolly says they should consider closing busy public spaces if carcasses can't be removed quickly from those areas.
If you're walking your pet dog in the vicinity of sick birds, wild birds, or significant bird feces, I would not do that at this time and avoid contact.
Experts predict this wave of avian flu should slow once temperatures begin to warm by April. Test results on the new wave of dead birds should be known within a week or two. The DEP will begin providing weekly updates online each Wednesday. In Monmouth County, Jim Murdoch, News 12, New Jersey.
All right, well, they did cover it. So you go. You got some. None of the New York City stations are covering this, of course, but at least we're seeing coverage. This is a big deal. It's a big environmental story, and very worrying, of course. News 12 was also speaking about the railroad. Of course, guess where they were? Wantagh.
Signal trouble. Yeah, News 12's Jenna Ray Gartner tells us
this has nothing to do with.
I don't know how I'm getting back. Kenesha McFadden was heading home from New York City when she found out her train was canceled.
I was trying to get on the same train as my husband. Didn't make that train. I just had to take what everyone was going out to the island, and now I'm in this random station waiting for a way to get back.
Well, she had to take an express train.
Trains across Long Island were affected Wednesday evening by Amtrak's signal trouble in one of the East River tunnels. The LIRR saw cancellations on the Babylon, Ronkonkoma, and Port Washington branches, leaving riders to figure out a new plan.
I just want that train to be here, because then I got to call my taxi because it picks me up, and now that's all thrown off.
Riders can check for delays and cancellations on the Train Time app.
Wednesday's signal trouble wasn't weather-related, but as we've reported, LIRR riders have now had to deal with several days of service disruptions this winter, including weather-related switch issues. Some riders say they're trying to take it all in stride.
I just kind of think it's part of the territory. Sometimes there's nothing that you can do, and I think that everything happens for a reason.
I'm on railroad, so if it's a little late sometimes, I don't care.
In Wantagh, Nassau County, Jenna Ray Gartner,
the important people coming down the stairs. There they are. Right off Wall Street. Anyway. I know it had nothing to do with what we were talking about, but yeah, so going on. 245 NASA NCPD are retiring. All the other things going on here. But all very disturbing, so affecting our environment, and all very concerning when you have all these dead geese all over the place. I don't even think Newsday even spoke about this. This have an article about Long Island home prices continue their rise. An average of $835,000 in Nassau and $700,000 in Suffolk. Fewer homes for sale. And it's going to get a whole lot worse with Ma'am Dammy. He's threatening to rent. Yeah, I could just Google this here. Yeah, this guy is threatening to where is it? He wants to raise the property tax in the city. Not even in here. I don't know where it is, but he wants to raise property tax. Here we go. Threatens 9.5 property in tax to fill budget gap. So yeah, that's gonna make even more people want to move here to New York City. I mean, to Long Island, and just continue the plan. This guy's part of the plan. All these people who think that he's not, he actually is part of the plan to force us out. So just it's obvious. So anyway, but yeah, we have this going on here with the birds. It's really sad. So just beware if you're out there hiking. Don't go near any birds, especially if they look sick. So yeah, what can I say? This is a part of climate change, believe it or not. It all is. So this is all just very disturbing sign of how our environment is just struggling here. And it's not just Long Island; it's across the world, because the climate is changing, and it affects all the balance between all the wildlife that's dying off. And it's sad to see this happen, because and and any birds that feed on the dead birds. And that's why it's important that dead birds are removed, because you could have turkey vultures, you could have turkey vultures, but also hawks and predators, just hawks and eagles, eat the dead birds and then get sick themselves and die. So that's why it's important that if you see dead birds, to contact the town or the DEC immediately, so they're removed promptly, so it doesn't spread. But that's all I got for you now on this news. At least we did have some reports there from News 12. Give them credit for that, because the New York City broadcast stations they're actually doing a lot worse than News 12. Right? Like yesterday, they were all over the other day was a Tuesday. They were all over the Jesse Jackson passing away. Literally, they spent like half the newscast talking about that, which I think is ridiculous. Nancy Guthrie, I mean, all that crap. Political news. They don't even want to cover crime anymore, like subway crime, which is continuing to be a problem. They don't even want to cover that. So this is the kind of stuff that you don't see. We'll go to 10-10 wins. He actually is doing homeless encampment sweeps. Okay. But he also plans to hike property tax. So there you go, hiking property taxes. Yeah, it's you're going to see a lot of political stories on here too. Usually they have a lot of crime on here. It's like they don't even want to cover the crime. They're not even one story about the dead birds. So I mean, News 12, I pick on them, but they're doing a lot better compared to a lot of the New York City-based media. Which the New York City-based media seem more beholden to Wall Street than ever. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. And in fact, I want to show you some things before I wrap up this video. Yeah, so more and more I notice finance ads on the New York City stations. This is one of them. Another one here, Wealthfront and JP Morgan, Wealth Management. This is who they gear to. So just another part. News 12 has actually been better lately than the city stations. Even though News 12 gears to them too, everybody gears to them. That's what it is here. But yeah, this should be a major story with these birds dying off. It really should be front page news. This is stuff that we have to worry about. We don't want to have a pandemic of avian flu either, which has always been a concern too. So this is just something that has to be watched. That's all. It's very serious anyway. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Good on News 12 at least for covering this story with the avian flu here going on here in Long Island. So. And across, not just Long Island, but in New Jersey, too. The entire area is suffering from probably a number of factors. The very cold weather, that long stretch of very cold weather, and a number of things that obviously contribute to this. But all very disturbing. So I hate seeing our wildlife being killed off like this, and it's just large amounts of birds dying right now. So anyway, hopefully we'll continue to get more information on this, and just hopefully this will stop soon. But just take precautions when you see birds that look ill or die. Just keep your distance from them, because you don't know if it could spread to you. So just it's always something that's a concern that we could have a bad avian flu outbreak jump to humans, which there's no proof that could happen, but it has happened in the past, so we have to be careful. So anyway, that's it.